Greg Merton here for another installment of Clean Shot. Y'all better hold on to your helmets, because we've got a lot of ground to cover today, and though it's not nearly as much ground as Skinny and I covered in our first ever IAE satellite sprint between the main expo on Kiel and the satellite event on Microtech, y'all know I'm itching to find out which one of these of us flies the fastest, and I'm not going to reveal who won the race just yet. What I can disclose is that Skinny is here in the studio, ready and raring to break down exactly what happened. But first, no. Keep the listings off the record. We're gonna wait. Skinny, you gotta have to wait. He's trying to access the mainframe. But first, IAE officials in Kiel have released a statement saying that giant pilot holograms are back up running at the main expo. They were offline for the past few days after somebody hacked the holo projector and replaced it with all kinds of crazy content I am not going to go into here. The incident caused quite a stir, as it took event staff a bit to shut down the holo projector, allowing a large crowd to take vids of unauthorized images and post them on Spectrum. I would not recommend pushing those. That is not what IE is about. While no one has come forward to claim responsibility for the hack, a recent New United article claims that authorities have focused their attention. Skinny, why are you leaning in on me? Yeah, I know I'm whispering. Okay. I'll behave. Have focused their attention on self-proclaimed satirical visual artist and provocateur. Satirical? Yeah. Okay. Hang on, I gotta do radio voice. Who's made a name by publicly displaying offensive holograms. The article notes several rumors fueling the speculation, including that the artist in question, known only by the pseudonym BB, was supposedly seen at the event in Kiel that day. IAE officials have refused to comment on the article and insist they're working closely with Kiel law enforcement officials to find the perpetrator. Look, I don't know if this is BB is the one who did it or not, but I'm sure they will find whoever is responsible and ban them for future expos. The IAE is meant to bring the empire together, yet these holograms are clearly designed to rile people up. And to what end? Far as I can tell, there wasn't even a coherent political message behind it. Just an attempt to piss off as many people as possible. You ask me, it's just juvenile, like one of those kids you grew up with who chased all the other kids around the playground with a fistful of alpha rat dung. I apologize, I get worked up about this. Just a real shame that the incident occurred on the same day the expo featured several specialty manufacturers that normally don't get the spotlight. Those damn holograms became the main story of the day. So say Argo, which is having an incredible year releasing the Raft, a fantastic new freighter, having the MPUV crowned this year's best in show? Usually, hard-working ships like the MPUV get overlooked in the popularity contest. Folks appreciate them, but they hardly honor them. That's why I got excited and urged folks to vote for good old Cargo. Yes, I know I said cargo twice, Jimmy. It means that much to me, because Argo Cargo is all about that cargo. I know some felt it's like the best in show win was unwarranted, but honestly, I couldn't think of a more deserving ship. To those who think the MPUV is one person, just that one person in that cockpit, it's just an ugly, unremarkable box made for transporting boxes with one person. I ask, what the hell's wrong with that? The ship was designed for a purpose and does it damn well. And it's been around for over 300 years, becoming a staple in landing zones across the entire UAE empire. Hell, most manufacturers, they would kill to create a ship as timeless and as popular as the MPUV. Sure, I might not have a sleek and sexy look, or it might not have it loaded with fancy features. Stop laughing, Jimmy. But its role in expanding and expediting cargo operations around landing zones makes it one of the most important and essential ships in the UAE. Why isn't that worth celebrating? Because in my humble opinion, it is. So I'm glad that the MPUV had its moment in the sun. The damn thing deserves it, and UAE would be drastically different place without it. And after racing the RAFT from the main IAE event in Kiel to the Satellite Expo in Microtech, I'm 100% convinced that the Argo has changed the cargo game once again. That's some good black coffee. The RAFT, which stands for Reinforced Advanced Freight Transportation Transport. My studio's telling me Reinforced Advanced Freight Transport. Look, we all know you're never going to use those words. It's going to be RAFT. Get the RAFT and take it here. Anyway, carries 3 standardized 32 SCU cargo crates that, in classic Argo fashion, can be quickly and easily loaded and unloaded. It also comes with hefty armor to deter attackers and comfortable living quarters suitable for 2. Does that sound like advertising words to you? I think it does. I think I seen all the pipes sticking out the back of that ship, and I'll tell you, I felt safe in the front. I wouldn't want to be a piece of cargo if something's being shot at, like say one of those new Aries they're shooting across the system. Whew, those new paint jobs for them Aries will make them really look brand new again. In classic Argo fashion, it can be easily and quickly loaded and unloaded. See, I can make Jimmy laugh without intentionally doing it, or intentionally. He's pouting over there. He's talking to the shift manager. It also comes with hefty armor to deter attackers. So, between you and I would stay in the front if you're getting shot at. As Skinny and I put to the test during our inaugural IAE satellite sprint. So there's my studio-approved verbiage of what happened. But what really happened was exciting. It was beautiful. The ship maneuvers well. The ship behaves the way you expect it to. And when you point that cargo ship, sometimes you forget you're in a cargo ship. Now, if you don't get the rundown of the race in our last episode, the kind folks at Argo provided both Skinny and I with standard rafts to speed between the 2 expos. Along the way, each of us made 3 stops and used the raft's tractor beams to load and unload containers. Skinny and I also agreed that the only changes we could make to the ship would be swapping out components. This made Skinny so confident that he even put his self-proclaimed, completely fictitious King of Components title on the line. So who holds the completely made-up title now? And who would the first ever IAE satellite sprint come down? Well, sure as heck, we get down to component loadout, flat path selection, and tractor beam proficiency. And who's better at that? Well, you'll have to wait until after this quick commercial break to find out. When Clean Shot returns, Skinny will join me to finally reveal who won the big race. Then, our good friend Silver Leaf, award-winning chef Cuddy Crawford, will join us to discuss his favorite IAE eats. And hopefully, it isn't Banu food. He's with us on Microtech and ready to share his expo floor snack hacks, and also reveal which food carts to target and which ones to avoid. All that and more when Clean Shot returns. Alright, Skinny. Yeah, you can stop gloating now. Thank you for not ruining the broadcast telling everybody you won. And by the way, I still don't agree that you used... how in the world did you convince that MPUV cargo to bump the rig for you? I'm still trying to figure that one out. You let that entire 32 SCU container wander away from your tractor beam's field of view. And then you just accidentally had an MPUV cargo kind of gently bump it back into position for you. Real curious. But look, we're not going to tell the viewers about that. That's between you and me. We'll have to work that out. But I have a feeling we're going to have another RAFT race real soon, buddy. And we're going to find out who that King of Components is. Alright, wait, we're still live? Oh, shucks. Alright, transmission over. Y'all have a wonderful day. No, Skinny, I didn't do it on purpose. This is my fourth swing at the apple, so I'm going to try to avoid Craig Burton's voice again. And I'm going to thank you all for listening. If you got this far, please think of subscribing if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you for being a long-term subscriber. It's greatly appreciated. Feedback on these is always valuable, too. I take a lot of liberties. For example, Skinny Jimmy. Really, his name is Skinny in the story. However, I kind of interplayed Skinny and Jimmy as a jab at the fact that this feels like a script of what should have been a Jax McCleary story that never really made it. That's what it feels like this is. And this Craig Burton that they've created it just feels like it's a Jax McCleary, basically, but like a hauler edition, which is kind of cool if you think about it. I would love to see Jax McCleary have like people like Craig Burton to the side of him and kind of be his co-hosts, covering different things. Like, because clearly Jax, just like the person that we won't name that he's kind of based on, is more into sports cars. In this case, it'd be sports spaceships, and speed, raw speed. Having somebody like Craig Burton who's into industry, into companies that are the underdog, into being able to respect tractor beams and other cool things like that. Even talking like industrial strength and speed in a different way is really cool. So I think this was pretty cool. I like that the values of Craig. You can hear a little bit of that in there. And I took very little liberties when I actually was talking about things that were important, like his feelings on the hack of the hologram system. So we're deep in overtime, by the way. So I kind of these are, by this point in these type of videos, I don't really do like edit cuts and then go, "Ooh, that doesn't sound right." So please forgive it if it has any squelches or something. But long story made short with lore. Folks who value it love it. Other folks don't love it so much. I'll admit, when I see a lure tag, I do one of two things. It's got to catch my eye in like the first millisecond, catch my ear in the first millisecond too. And when I do click to play, if I make the decision to play, but most of the time I see something lore based, especially a user created lore based, community created lore based, and I kind of cringe. So because I know almost every time I'm not going to appreciate it. So I want to thank you for giving this a shot. I hope this made your IAE a little better, and it's bringing this type of character that would be stuck on a comlink page and probably never heard about throughout the rest of IAE with the little bit that we have left. I hope it kind of brought him to life a little bit, him and his buddy, who I'm calling Skinny Jimmy. So I wanted to talk a minute about Jax McCleary. And it's unfortunate that we have so little content on him, but this year has been a really strong year for Jax and his team, and the actual Jimmy, and his recording staff and everything were highlighted this year, and his executives, no less. Well, I don't know if they're executives from like his recording publisher or if they're just random executives he took into the back of the Spartan, but nonetheless, I really like that character is kind of a lived-in character, and I hope someday we'll have a literal Jax McCleary on this on the grounds of IAE, on the grounds of Fleet Week, and be walking around, doing some type of scripted antics, or even if it's controlled by a dev. Pardon me, sorry. Even if it's controlled by a dev, I could see like controlled events that are random, quote random, end quote, and maybe happen a few times a day at random intervals, where Jax just bursts onto the stage of random servers, does a whole bunch, gives out freebies. Like one simple thing, like a baseball cap or some type of trinket of some sort, would really, really make somebody's day. Like just a UEE shirt with like Jax just blatantly took a Sharpie and just wrote on it, Jax is awesome or something. Anything at all, whatever makes sense for his character. Obviously check with the lore folks, but just a thought. If I was running these things, I would love to see more lore transition in the game. I think the videos being played at IE next to the holograms, for example, I love the fact that's bringing those stories front and center to the folks. I like the readable boards that they're doing. They don't autoplay. You have to walk up and hit the play button, if I remember But I would say that those are kind of iffy because the board just kind of feels like it's not part of the integral story. If you had stories about each ship, it would be best to put those boards next to those ships and then have like a auto play when you're walking around the ship. Like you enter this beautiful carrack and it tells you the story of the carrack. Maybe even have like 3 or 4 players positioned around the ship that are just sitting there. You could take the holocron player box or whatever it's called from the 300 series customization, pop that in there, and when people walk around, they auto proc it. So it talks about in the actual informally named UEES Carrack, here's what happened, and here's the story of this ship that had a lot of things it had to suffer, and it went through. That would be really cool stories. You know, might even be a moment for community collaboration. Obviously not with me. Someone like Astropub or something who really, really, really can bring these to life. But anyway, long story made short, I would wish you all a wonderful IAE. Wish you a happy holidays, and please put in the feedback below if you have any, or just if you like this kind of content. Lore has a very hard time tracking, so yeah, that's one of the few times I'm going to ask for that. Also, if you're shy, I'm also always available on Discord at redj #0001. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day. Fly safe.